What you are about to watch actually happened. A maximum security prison, 17-ton walls, anti-helicopter netting over every courtyard, snipers with assault rifles on 4 watchtowers, hundreds of guards. And yet he walked out. Not through a tunnel, not through a bribe, through the sky. What kind of mind does it take to plan something like this? And more importantly, what does that mind reveal about the psychology of obsession, identity, and the stories we tell ourselves to justify who we are? Stay with me, because by the end of this video, you will never look at ambition the same way again. Welcome to Infinite Mindset Power. I'm HR, and today, we're going deep inside the most cinematic criminal mind France has ever seen. 1978. A suburb outside Paris. A cramped 3-room apartment. 11 people. 2 Algerian immigrant parents doing everything they can to survive. 6-year-old Redoine Faïd wanders into a shop with his older brother. They can't afford a single thing inside. They know it. The store detective knows it. And he makes sure they know he knows it, calling them a racial slur, watching them like criminals before they've done a single thing wrong. Here's what the psychology tells us. When a child is treated like a criminal before they've committed a crime, 2 things can happen. They internalize the shame, or they decide, if the world already sees me this way, I might as well own it. Redoine chose the second path. Around this time, Redoine discovered cinema, French crime thrillers, American gangster films. He didn't just watch them, he memorized them. He reenacted scenes for his family. He studied them like textbooks. Heat, Point Break, Reservoir Dogs. These weren't entertainment to him. They were instruction manuals. He literally copied dialogue from a French crime film during his first bank robbery. He had his crew wear the same color-coded suits as Tarantino's characters. He race-staged the armored truck scene from Heat shot for shot. His first theft at age 6 ended with 20 belt strikes from his father and a tearful promise to his mother that he'd never steal again. At 18, he walked into a bank with a gun. His mother was dying of leukemia. His father had returned to Algeria. There was no one left to disappoint. No guardrail, no anchor. Over the next decade, Faïd ran some of the most theatrical armed robberies France has ever seen. Let's break down the pattern, because there is a pattern, and it tells us everything about how his mind works. The Point Break job, bank director, and family taken hostage. Crew wore robber masks of famous politicians exactly like the film. Faïd delivers the exact line from the movie as they exit. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. And please don't forget to vote. This is performance. He isn't just robbing banks. He is directing films with real stakes. The Reservoir Dogs job. Sharp black suits. Color-coded aliases. Mr. White, Mr. Pink, Mr. Orange. The crew adopted the complete aesthetic of the film. The job went sideways just like in the movie. But unlike a movie, people got hurt. Real consequences. Real trauma. The Heat job, the holy grail. For years, Faïd studied Michael Mann's Heat obsessively. The armored truck heist in the film became his benchmark. He staged a near-identical attack on a 6-ton armored truck, multiple vehicles, AK-47s, military-style choreography. It went wrong. He took a bullet. Left DNA. The police got a name. May 20, 2010. A suburb southeast of Paris. 2 patrol officers respond to a call after men fleeing a failed armored truck robbery. Officer AUR Life for Care. 26 years old. A mother. 1 year into parenthood. The getaway car needed to be replaced. She and her partner arrived at exactly the wrong moment. The windshield of her patrol car was pierced by 16 bullets. She was hit multiple times. By the end of the day, she was gone. Thousands of police officers attended her funeral. French President Sarkozy stood at the podium and made a promise he would find who did this. And here's the part that should stop you cold. Around the same time, Redoine Faïd was appearing on French television as a guest expert, commenting on exactly this kind of heist. Smiling, relaxed, presenting himself as a reformed man. He had an alibi, but investigators found surveillance footage placing him in the getaway van. He was the architect. What you need to understand is this: Faïd did not improvise. He never improvised. Everything was architecture. For 2 years before the escape, he had been writing letters to a flight instructor's stepdaughter, building trust, gathering intelligence. Prison management had noticed changes: more family visits than usual, suspected coded messages during phone calls. A drone spotted scouting the facility from above. A subtle shift in his behavior: more relaxed, friendlier with guards. They knew something was coming. They just didn't know it would come from above. 65-year-old flight instructor Saint Faïd receives 2 new students, a father and son. They pay €500 cash. They want to fly in a specific vintage helicopter from the 1950s, small, nimble, easy to maneuver. Once airborne, they reveal guns. They know where he lives. His family is being watched. If he doesn't follow instructions, they will die. They land twice, collect duffel bags packed with tear gas and smoke grenades, gas masks, AK-47 assault rifles, an industrial angle grinder with a 14-inch blade, bulletproof vests. The helicopter thunders toward the prison. 11:18 a.m. A prison guard hears a strange hum from outside. She thinks it's a leaf blower. It isn't. The vintage helicopter, small enough to fit through the one unprotected gap in the netting, descends into the honor courtyard, the only yard without anti-helicopter cables, a gap Faïd had identified months in advance. The sequence that follows takes exactly 10 minutes. Smoke grenades ignite, white smoke engulfs the entire courtyard. The angle grinder screams through reinforced metal doors, 40 seconds per lock. Guards reach for their radios. One calls civil aviation, gets confused. One calls emergency services, gets put on hold. One calls local police, who think it's a prank. Watchtower snipers can't see through the smoke and aren't authorized to fire at aircraft anyway. Faïd calmly walks out of visiting room 50. Passes 2 inmates taking out trash, brings his hand to his temple in a salute, steps into the helicopter. Dozens of prisoners press their faces to the bars of their cells. The entire prison erupts into applause. He was gone, and the world went absolutely insane. After the escape, a well-known French actress wrote on social media, "Bravo, Redoine Faïd. All of France is with you." 3 months later, police tracked him to an apartment in his hometown. He had been hiding in public, disguised in a burqa. Here is what the myth says: he was a rebel from the banlieue who beat the system. He was a movie character come to life. Here is what the reality says: a 26-year-old mother went to work and never came home. A flight instructor was held at gunpoint with his family threatened. His own brother, who believed he had changed, was left frozen in a visiting room, staring at an empty chair. Faïd describes his years in solitary as being buried alive, strip searched up to 5 times a day, escorted by 4 guards to every phone call, hands in shackles.